What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to show you guys how to unlock the new free run camo. The challenge for this one is to complete it in under 14 minutes and get 10 or less faults. And this one, it's actually pretty hard if you don't know what to do, but I have a full guide for you guys in this video, and I'm going to show you guys an entire game, no cuts, so that way you can see the entire process of me finishing that free run and getting the camo from start to finish. So if there's a particular spot that you're interested in, you can skip to it and all of that good stuff. But anyways, let's jump into it. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to break it down live. I'm going to show you guys the entire game that I ended up unlocking the camo through, and so that way if you have any problems with any particular things, you'll see how I did them, and that way it can help you out for yourself. So starting it off, it's very straightforward and easy at this stage up until you end up getting, I believe, around the first crouch jump or second crouch jump. That's where it's super easy. You just run right through it. You can even cut corners by jumping off to the side and then just follow everyone. Usually you're going to be there with the entire team. You don't really have to worry about anything too much, so you just go through. Now, there's going to be some parts where it's going to get a little confusing. Like, for example, that guy, he just fell right in front of me. You need to wall jump in order to be able to mount on top of it. I know it's very straightforward once you get used to it, but the first time around, you may not expect that, and then you may try to just mount, and you're going to fall off. So just make sure you hit a straightforward wall jump, and then you jump, and then mount, and then you'll be good to go. See, another example here, you need to hit that wall jump first in order to be able to do it. And so as long as you do that, the first stage, super easy. You shouldn't have any falls at all. Now, this one, be very aware of. So after that first crouch jump, they sort of trick you. You think it's just going to be a regular crouch jump, but it's not. There's actually going to be like a hole right behind it, and so a lot of people actually fall right through that. So for example, another guy, he just fell right through. Make sure you're aware of that one. It always happens in the second one. So after that, you just want to hit some wall jumps, and the next part that gets hard is right here, where a lot of people fall off here as well, and you just want to make sure you line it up and hit those wall jumps correctly. And then you always want to jump the last second right off the edge, so that way you move the furthest out. And so that's a mistake that I had a lot of times early on. You may end up having that same sort of mistake, but that's what you just need to do. Now, there's really not too much to explain in this stage, so you just follow through. There's really nothing confusing at this part. To make sure that you're hitting the wall jumps. One thing that I would recommend is hitting the tip of the first arrow. That's usually what helps me end up getting that really good momentum, and then I don't fail or mess up any of the other ones. But then now make sure when you end up getting the pistol, very important is you have to be aware of the actual things you need to shoot, the targets, because a lot of them, it's so much easier to shoot them before you actually started. Some of them, you may not see them until the last second, so you have to be very aware. So in this case, when I have the pistol, I'm making sure to look around. See, there's that one, went ahead and shot it. Also, don't rely on your teammates, because sometimes they'll miss. And so that first one right there, I went ahead and hit it. Now, this one is where it gets confusing. So after you hit the zip here, there's actually going to end up being two of them, and many people actually miss the second one, so you don't really see it because it's off to the left. So make sure you hit the first one and then you hit the second one. My teammate, he didn't even hit the second one. He would have fell off if I didn't hit it, but you make sure you do that because that was also a mistake that I made, and then I ended up hitting that as well. Now, one important thing I do want to mention is when you're going for this camo, it's not about the time. Obviously, they tell you get it in 14 minutes, but the hardest part about this is the 10 faults. You can't fall off 10 different times or more than 10 times, and if you do a perfect run or you do it and you're getting under 10 faults, then you're going to hit that time. You're definitely going to be under 14 minutes, so you don't really have to worry about it too much. Just make sure that you don't mess up, and I know it's a lot of pressure, but take your time doing it, because at the end of the day, if you mess up, it's going to waste a lot more time. And so as you see here, I'm just trying to pay attention to the targets. The only time where I'm super aware is when I have a weapon in my hand, because it's a lot of mistakes that can be made when you have that weapon, because you may miss a target, you may not shoot it in time. This area right here is where I messed up the most, and one thing that I can tell you is shoot it, and then what you want to do is go and run off the edge as close as possible before starting the wall run, and then what you want to do is hit the third wall jump onto the actual box to give you momentum to lift up, just like you were able to do in the earlier stages. So just this time around, you just have to do 2 wall jumps prior to it. But once you end up getting it down, you should be able to start getting it down first try, but make sure you take your time. And then in this area right here, I like to shoot the target 2 times, the first time and then the second time after I step on the platform, because a lot of times I notice it will actually end up running out in the last part, and then I'll end up falling off. Now with the grappling hook, Things that I pretty much made mistakes on is I would sort of try to force rush it and go as quick as I can, because obviously it's a grappling hook. You can just keep flying all over the place, and then it makes you more prone to falling off and making mistakes that you shouldn't be making. Another thing is I don't do like that whole crouch area. What I do is I just go right over it. It's going to save you some time in the long run, and then you just want to keep spamming it. You do have unlimited ammo, but sometimes it does go on like cooldown for like 2 or 3 seconds, so you're not going to be able to use it right away. So make sure you're aware of that. So see, in this case right here, I'm aiming at cars, aiming at vehicles. I'm not just running it the normal way. I'm trying to just spam the grappling hook so that way I could save a little bit more time going through these different corners and these angles. Now, at some point here, you're going to actually end up losing the grappling hook. It doesn't notify you or anything like that. I think as soon as you hit the checkpoint, you're no longer going to be able to use it. It's a little more further down, but I'll talk to you guys about that once we get there. Now, in this case, I'm continuing spamming. Once again, I'm not going to go through that crouch sliding or any of that. I'm just going to skip through. Make sure you do hit that wall jump, or else you're not going to have enough range in order to be able to reach the grappling hook. So very important that you hit those and you don't just jump off, and yeah, you're going to end up missing it. But then once again, I continue spamming here. It's a long drop down. Make sure you get a little closer, and also I'm always spamming the grappling hook in case I miss, because sometimes I will miss, and if you're not spamming it fast enough, you will fall to your death. So as you see here, I almost fell, but I kept spamming it. Now right there is when the grappling hook ends, and so you make sure that you're not in a position to where you end up needing it. And now right here, because you have a shotgun, you do sort of have to wait until the last second before you end up shooting these targets. But then there's this area right here. I always like to shoot it first. If you can see it, definitely make sure you aim at it first and shoot it before you begin. It's going to save you the headache of having to flick or having to shoot or aim at it. But here we go. We continue forward here. It's pretty straightforward wall jumps. I took a second here to pause so I can clip the last 5 minutes that I ended up recording. But anyways, going on, we end up hitting the wall jump, and then we go up towards the zip line. So far, no mistakes. This has been pretty clear. Now, the craziest part is this is not a perfect run. I actually make some of the craziest and dumbest mistakes here, and I'm still able to get the camo. So the good thing is you don't need a perfect run in order to be able to do this. So for example here, I'm shooting these, and then I'm going through, and then you just make sure that you're lining up your shots and you're taking your time. I see I pause for a second to make sure that I reload, so that way I don't run out of ammo while I'm trying to go and attempt to eliminate all of these here. But then I continue forward on, and then all you have to do is just hit the zip line. Now, this is another one that I got stumped on for a little bit, is make sure you shoot both of them instead of just the one on the right. You may not even see that one on the left. Just want to let you know, be aware of that one. And then this second one here, you want to shoot that, and then there's going to be another one that pops up last second that you want to shoot, and then you'll be able to land on the platform. And then the rest of this area is pretty straightforward. You want to hit 3 different wall jumps, so the bottom, the middle, and then the top, and then you want to mount up, and then this one is even easier, and then you just go through with that. Now, you got to shoot both of them. In my opinion, I recommend you shoot both of them at the same time before you continue, and then you'll be able to get them. Now, this grappling hook, make sure you're aware and you're ready to spam L1 as soon as you end up grabbing it, because you don't have that much time. And so as long as you're aware of yourself having to press that button, it shouldn't be hard. But if you're not paying attention and you're like daydreaming, you're definitely gonna fall off. So another one here, this is where you have the grappling hook. So I don't really do all the wall jumps. See, in this case I missed it, but because I was spamming, I was safe. But then I actually ended up messing up here again, so I missed the tag, but I kept going forward, and so I ended up making that mistake and falling. And if you take your time here, you should be able to avoid that completely. So as you can see here, my first drop off was a stupid mistake that I shouldn't have made, but I actually continue making these dumb mistakes. Now, going forward here, I followed through, and they take away your grappling hook. Now, you pick up a weapon. Once again, you got to be very aware of these targets you have to shoot. That one's straightforward. It's like right in front of you. This one, you have to shoot just right before you land. That's fine. Once you get to this stage, I would recommend that you slow it down, because you have to land on a super tiny platform and you have to make sure you line it up. So don't go too quick here. Just take a second and then make sure you line everything up. And then with the ballistic knife, pretty straightforward. Just shoot the targets and then jump. Shouldn't really be any mistakes here. And then you go on, and now you have the pistol. So you have to shoot both the targets consistently. So you shoot one and then you shoot the next, and then you jump on over to the next one, and then you do it again. Now, I don't really shoot the last one because it gives you enough time, so you don't have to waste your time shooting the target one more time, but just keep going. And then right here, pretty straightforward. You want to shoot it and then run and then jump on and then just pull your analog up as soon as you end up landing, so that way you start climbing right away. And then this one, the wall jumps are straightforward. They have these lines or these tubes in the middle to sort of confuse you, but if you do a regular standard wall jump, it shouldn't bother you and it shouldn't block you off at all. Once again, you go towards the edge of the arrows. As I mentioned, the very tip of them is like the area of the wall that you want to hit, and then you want to shoot the target before you start, and then you continue. Now, this is where I made a really dumb mistake. As you see here, I didn't even wall jump off. All I did, I don't even think I even pressed the jump button, and that was another mistake. It gave me another fault. So as you can see here, I'm making some pretty dumb mistakes that are easily avoidable. But yeah, as long as you just go through, you take your time with them, and even if you do make some mistakes like these, it's very possible that you could still get the camo. So once again, I went ahead and did that. I'm supposed to crouch slide through there. Now, this is the area where I messed up a lot. I was stuck here for a very long time the first time I did it. And one tip that I've learned over messing up so many times is you want to start off on the right and then go on over and sprint directly to the left corner of the box. And this one was so frustrating that I attempted to skip to the next checkpoint multiple different times, but you see here, I messed up again. And one thing that I noticed that makes it a lot easier is you start off over on the right side. So I finally understood that that's what I needed to do, but I didn't get it the first time around. And so this time around, I actually did it, lined it up, jumped to the left corner of the first box, and then I followed through to the second box, and then I was finally able to get it. Now, once you get there, what you want to do with this one is you want to shoot it multiple different times. So I shot it that first time, then I ended up getting to the next platform, then I shot it again, and I almost messed this one up, but I got lucky enough to grab myself towards the end. And then going forward here, this one you have to actually wait till the last second in order to shoot, but they're point blank range, you shouldn't really miss them. They all appear in the same spot except for the last one, which is a little bit higher than normal, and then as long as you end up getting it, you should be good. And then you go through, hit the zip line, and then now you end up reaching the next zone. And now it actually gets a little bit easier once you get to this area right here because you're now flying. And I made some dumb mistakes in this one too, but most times you should be able to get this one without having a single problem. The only thing that I can tell you here is make sure you follow the butterflies and keep your eyes on them, because they turn when sometimes it doesn't look like you need to take a turn, and so they're gonna guide you through. And then there's also things like random buildings and stuff like that, and obstacles that will pop up, and you're not gonna be aware of them if you're just paying attention to just the circles. So make sure you're staring at the butterflies, because when they start drifting down, you know that you need to go down. If they start moving off to the right, you're gonna need to end up going towards the right, and so you just follow them through. And make sure you're always controlling the analog stick slowly, don't flick, because once you start flicking, you're gonna end up turning too hard, and then it's gonna be much harder to control. So smooth, slow movements is the way to go here. And so you see I started losing control for a second there because I started flicking, and then once I got back into control, I was good to go. Now, it was at this point where I ended up making a mistake right here, and I wanted to pull out the menu so I could see how many faults I had, and because of that, I messed up again. And so I pulled out the menu again, almost even messed up a third time because of it. So it's like a completely avoidable mistake that I made. But regardless, despite all of that, we were still able to get it in 12 minutes and something seconds and in under 10 faults. So if I can do it, you can definitely do it. It just takes a couple of tries to get used to the map itself, but that is pretty much how you can unlock the camo. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys again.